Hello and welcome to the third in the series of talks for introverts. I'm running each Tuesday lunchtime starting at 12:30. Give you a chance to break, recharge and learn something different as we head towards Christmas. Now, one of the reasons I'm really excited about doing these is because it's about sharing my journey and the things I've been learning over the last 30 years I've spent in financial services, having changed the direction where I'm going and really focusing on what I enjoy and helping people transform their lives. And being an introvert myself, I spent years sitting in the office quietly murmuring about everything that was going on, dealing with the noise, the energy, and being perceived by my colleagues as an unfriendly, unwelcome sort of person when I was really just being myself. And learning to enjoy being myself and learning how to muster my energy and resources to do something different is something I spent many years doing. And now I'm spending some of my time sharing that and helping people transform their lives. So, and so today we're really coming out of that big one, managing the extrovert boss. I don't know how you deal with your bosses, but over the years I've had a wide range of people, and those I've struggled most with are those who full of energy, bound into the office and good mornings and highs, and almost want to high five you as they walk in, and just it just puts you off wanting to come into the office. And learning how to deal with that and is one of the greatest challenges I face, and learning to approach that with a smile is something I really want to work on today. So, how do you feel when someone works in the office and they're full of energy? Does it fill with dread, despair? I'm wondering how you can quietly avoid sneaking into the kitchen whilst they're not there and make yourself a coffee. Do you enjoy it when your boss is on holiday and you don't have to interact with them on their terms? Well, there is a different way to approach this, and that's really something I would like to talk through today. And if you do have any questions, do either drop a note in the chat or just send me a message afterwards. I'm happy to answer any questions and have a chat with you. So let's move on. The most important thing is really starting from what do you want to get out with your relationship with your boss? What is important to you? What are the positive reasons for engaging with them? And often that comes down to building a relationship and getting the most out of your job, finding out where your career is going, get that next step up, get the interesting jobs, get the support and training you want to continue to develop and succeed at what you're doing. And overall, it's often about feeling appreciated, valued, and welcomed within the team, being seen as a team player and an important part of the jigsaw. That's quite important lessons to focus on what is positive about building a great relationship with my boss. Once you've really started to think about that, you can then start to think about what's next. So then it's really moving and putting yourselves in their shoes. It's a great exercise we can run through looking at this, but are you able to see the events from their point of view? So what I'd really like you to do is just really hold your hands in front of yourselves and just take a look up at what is on your left hand. Imagine your boss is standing there. On your right hand, just create an imagination of yourself. You are sitting where you are as an observer on the relationship between you two. And as you think about your boss, think about explaining to the observer in their words, his or her words, what they think about and what they want out of the relationship with you. So Your boss might go, I want Brian to engage. I want Brian to speak. I want him to show happiness, joy, fun in the workplace. No, I want him to be louder and more out in the environment. And I'm confused by what's going on. I don't understand what he's thinking. I don't understand what's going on in what he's doing. I don't think he enjoys being here. Don't know why he wants to work here in this environment. I don't know why he wants to. He's just drained. It's just draining to engage with him. So I think I choose not to. There's sort of the words you can use, and it's just really spending a couple of minutes just thinking about what your boss does for you. And just think about your boss. Just think about the words that you use, that he may use to describe you, all the different things there are. And then when you feel ready, it's time really to move on to thinking about how you talk about your boss. So you sitting on your right hand, when you're looking at your boss on your left hand, what do you see? What do you see? What do you feel? What do you hear? What impact do they have on him? You see it lack of understanding, lack of knowledge and wisdom. Is it someone who doesn't listen to, doesn't have time for you? And just think of the different words you use to describe him. Just take a few seconds just to think through this. And then we're moving on to think about the interaction with you. So you sitting there as the observer, what have you noticed between that conversation between how your boss sees you and how you see your boss? What is the mismatch in that communication? How are you not talking to each other? What could you change? What could you do different? What have you discovered? Can you write down the 5 key things you've discovered about the difference way you're not communicating in the way you want each other? Just think about what it is that is different about the language, expressions, expectations. Once you've written down the first 5, choose which one you think is a good starting point. Starting point to work on. And ask yourself what you could do differently. What could I change to achieve this? The real question is, what would I regret if I don't change what's going on? What is there I'm missing out if I don't change? What will be missed? Just think about the relationship, what you could do differently. Is it a way of setting boundaries for the communication? Telling your boss, I've only got 1 minute to chat. Telling your boss, can I take 5 minutes of your time? It's all about thinking about ways you can set different boundaries and expectations in that communication. What different approach you can take to enjoy it, how you're approaching it. What have you learned to appreciate about what your boss, he or she wants? What are they looking for? So And how can you enjoy that? How can you structure a conversation in a way which keeps your energy going, recharges your batteries? What is there you can do? It's really the big questions you're asking yourself. What is you can do to make a big difference? What can you do? What can you change? And look around the office and see the different people in the team and outside the team and how they interact with your boss, how the different personalities interact. Spend some time watching how your boss interacts with different types of people in the office, his peers, her peers, their peers, the difference. Is there does he or she communicate in a different way with different people? And what can you learn about how they interact with her or him? Can you notice their different styles and how they engage with your boss in a constructive, positive way? And which one of those approaches do you most resonate with? Which one feels like one you could copy? Look for those like-minded people and talk to them. You know, that other people in the office like you who have a different relationship, and you can just explore some differences, finding that the changes and having a curious mind, saying, what can I do different? What is there out there which I can do now? There's lots of important questions you can ask yourself. So, yeah, let's start with, what does my boss want from me on Monday morning when he or she walks into the office? When they walk into the office, what do they want? How are different members of the team and work colleagues engaging with them? How can you meet his or her needs on their terms? And how can you meet them on your terms? What do you want? How do you want your boss to engage with you? What can you set as, this is how I'm engaging? Hi, it's Monday morning, and I am here. I just need to focus on this before I can engage. And who else in the team can you involve? Is a three-way conversation going to feel much better than a two-way conversation, for example? Bringing someone else in to share the energy and lift it for all three of you. And create a plan for initial interaction. How are you going to do it? What do you want out of it? How are you going to start it? And often, importantly, how are you going to end it? Be clear on where it's going and what you want out of it before you start. How are you defining your boundaries? How do you know what is good for you and what you need to change? Think about those things. Think about at what point the interaction with your boss starts to drain your energy, and can you end it at your peak? Can you end it at a good point? What is stopping you doing that? You may find there's several steps you need to go. Instead of going all the way up and down, you can just take a step backwards on the down and end it before you reach bottom. There's all these things to think about. Yeah. Identify what could be fun. What is your boss's sense of humour like? How can you bring a smile to their face in a calming way which you enjoy? So today I've probably bombarded you with lots of things to think about. You can take time to listen and enjoy and think about what you can do. You can listen to this on the replay and pause and really work through thinking about the models and putting yourself in the position of your boss, and you observe it again, and just observing the different language between yourself, thinking about what an outsider sees when they are watching you engage with each other. Think about what that means. I mean, what would an observer say to you about your relationship with your boss and what could change, what is within your grasp to change. The things you can change and the things we can't. And the choice is finding the right thing. So think about what you've learned. There is always a positive way forward. So that's really where I'm coming from today. If you got any questions, do drop them in the notes. The subject I could continue on. And if you ever want a one-to-one, just drop me a note and I will see what spaces I have in my diary for one-to-one to talk through any questions you've got. But thank you for your time this afternoon. I always like to keep things short and sweet. And next week, I'm really moving on to something we've touched on today, and it's how to stop being underestimated in work and start being appreciated and feeling appreciated. So a big area, and it's something I noticed for a long time. I was always underestimated at the beginning because being so quiet in the office, and it took time for people to go, oh, underestimate what Brian is capable of doing, underestimated. And I always seem to start relationships 3 steps further back than I needed to be. I'll see the start line and I'll take 3 paces back. And having learned different ways of getting myself to the starting line with everybody else and stopping being underestimated, and stopping choosing to be underestimated, and start ensuring that I am appreciated for who I am. It's something I've really been working on. And it always amuses me how people jump to assumptions, and learning from that, I've learned so much, and I'd love to share some of my experiences next week. So if you've got time, join me next week and we will continue this series. And if you know anyone else who might be interested in learning, sharing and joining, do put them in touch. I will send through a recording of this video so you can rewatch it at your leisure and share with anyone who might think is interested. Thank you for your time, sir.